Hey guys, and thank you for joining me for yet another video. In this presentation, we're going to be taking a look at 3 root vegetables, which include beets, eddoes, and potatoes. We're going to make a nice combination of these 3 vegetables, and we're going to season them and get them into a nice hash. So stay with me and let's get into this video.
So I'm not sure if you're familiar with this vegetable. It's in the store. It's called Eddoes. I'm going to be placing these into a small pot, and I'm going to allow them to boil till they're cooked. And I'm going to be incorporating this into a meal today, so you can see how I use it. So I'll be back to show you what I do with that. Hey y'all, so it's been about half an hour of the Eddoes boiling on the stove. I just emptied out the hot water and changed it into some cool water just so I could handle it. Now you're gonna treat this just like a potato, and it's gonna peel just like how you peel potatoes. It can peel. Like I'm using one hand now because I am filming, but basically you're just gonna get your knife and pull back the skin on this. It's very easy to peel, just like how you treat potatoes that were boiled with the skin on. So to this baking tray, I just added a sheet of foil, and the reason I did this was because I don't really want to have to deal with the big cleanup at the end. So what's gonna take place here is I'm going to, I know you remember the eddoes that I had boiled earlier. Well, I'm gonna chop these into chunks, and they're gonna be hash. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a hash along with these eddoes and some beets. I have some beets that I had boiled. To cook beets, it took me, to safely cook them all the way, this size, around this size, it took me, I put an hour on the clock and I let it boil away. So these are fully cooked and they're peeled. These are beets, and they'll be interacted with separately from this because I don't want everything to turn red. So I have about 4 average sized beets cut up and chopped. So I put the beets in a separate bowl because they stained so badly and I didn't want them to stain everything. I have some raw potatoes here that haven't been cooked. Potatoes don't take a long time in the oven to roast. The eddoes are fully cooked as well, and I'm going to be seasoning all these together but separately. I also made an extra dish for the beets. I have some minced onion here. I'll go in with about a tablespoon on each. So there's a tablespoon on the beets, a tablespoon on the eddoes, and a tablespoon on the potatoes as well. We're going in with some olive oil. We're going in with a tablespoon on your beets, a tablespoon on the eddoes, and a tablespoon on your potatoes. We're gonna put a tablespoon on your potatoes, 1 on your eddoes, and 1 on the beets. We're gonna go in with some chives, half a teaspoon on all 3. Next, we're gonna go in with some parsley, half a teaspoon on each, and some smoked paprika, half a teaspoon on each. Onion powder, half a teaspoon on each. With some thyme leaves, half a teaspoon on each. Some rosemary, half a teaspoon on each. Some garlic powder, half a teaspoon on each. Some cilantro leaves, half a teaspoon on each. And the last ingredient is our lemon. We're going to use half a lemon directly into the potatoes. Yeah, so to both of these, we're going to share the next half. So half goes into your eddoes and half goes into your beets. All we're going to be doing next is we're going to be integrating all of these. Of course, that's going to have its own spoon. They all are. And we're going to mix all these ingredients in together perfectly before we even think about setting them down to roast. So everything's been mixed in nicely. I'm going to take care of the beets first. I actually used the regular baking tray, a small square one. I lined it with foil as well. So I'm just pouring the beets out into it, and we're gonna spread it out nicely so that everything's sitting nicely by itself. And our oven's already preheating right now at 400 degrees. So next I'll be going in with the uncooked potatoes. Those are well seasoned, and I'm just gonna be flattening that out as well so that it's even and nothing's piled up. So I'm also going to be putting the Eddoes with that. Mind you, the Eddoes are fully cooked. However, we're going to get them nice and roasted, so we're going to also flatten that out nice. So I have everything here ready to go into the oven that's preheated to 400 degrees. We're going in on the middle shelf. Put the beets there first, and then we're going to put the potatoes in next with the Eddoes. So everything's in on the middle rack, and we're gonna close that up, and we're gonna set a timer for 40 minutes, and we'll be back to check it. So it's been a good 45 minutes with these items in the oven to make sure it's been roasted, which it has. So I'm just gonna stir this up and make sure everything is nice. It looks really. So our potatoes have been roasted really nicely. We can finally throw our beets in there with that as well. Yeah guys, so once your beets are cooked, they're a lot friendlier to lighter ingredients, like they don't taint them as much once it's been roasted like that. So it's quite safe to mix these two items together. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna bleed at all, but it's not gonna bleed as bad as it would have if it hadn't been baked. So yeah, these items are fully cooked and they're also ready to be served. And also, I just wanted to come back quickly and show you. This is the beets, Eddoes, and potato hash.